Wagwan, everyone. I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another stream, a Premier League preview because the Premier League is back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all keeping well, Tariq Talks family. And those of you who are new, make sure you do subscribe. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't done so already. Whether you're new, your OG, your granddad, your brother, your nephew, whatever, a part of this family. But I hope you're keeping well and safe. And guess what? We've got a Premier League preview, and you know what that means. I have my co-host, the wonderful, the amazing, the man who's all behind the scenes, doing all the research for the stats and records. It is, you know who it is. Edmin, how you doing, bro?
All good, all good. Taking a lunch break to do the stream. Looking forward to it.
There we go, exactly, people. You see the dedication from Ed there to get to do the lunch break and that. But you know what, people, it's going to be good. So make sure, if you're watching afterwards, make sure you do get your predictions in the comments because we are bringing this a bit earlier than usual. So we definitely do need your predictions in. Make sure you get them in before 12:30. In fact, tomorrow, before the Liverpool-Watford game, which we'll discuss as well. Don't worry about that. But let me go into the comments right now because we had G Staffy popping in saying hello. Whilst she's at school, says can't stop in my PE lesson. That's why I'm saying hi now. G Staffy, if you're watching this back later, big dedication to get in the comments and just get in there.
Palmo Friday as well, right? So we're expecting pictures on the Discord later, right?
Definitely pictures in the Discord in the food channel, guys. If you don't know what we're talking about, links in the description below. Get joining in the Tariq Talks family Discord. Someone else is in the Discord. Big up Louis saying, what's up? Big up, bro. And we've got Jay saying, yes, my brother, you know man's here. Come on, bless up. And big up Ed, the main man, forget T. That's people say it all the time.
It's called Tariq Talks, not Ed Talks.
Yeah, but
Ted Talks is what we are, remember?
Ted Talks, that's true. I love that one. Hey, but people, we're going to get into it now. 2 minutes in. We usually have a longer introduction. But before we get into it, hey, Fadsy's just joined in. You know it's early.
It is, Fads, it is.
It is early, so make sure you get your predictions in the chat. If you're watching it afterwards, you got to go for whatever reason. Comments below. We need it, people. And there's the link to the Discord server. Eddie, excited for Premier League football coming back?
Oh, I loved it. I'm a international football fan, hypocrite. Yeah. Don't really care about the Nations League or friendlies. Don't really care about the the actual qualifiers. But when you get to a tournament, it's all about England, isn't it? Or whoever your team is.
Exactly that.
Which is why this is early as well, guys, because Tariq is going to bring a international flavoured World Cup draw. Is that right, too?
Yes, it is. It's going to be. We'll be doing a World Cup draw. Make sure to check that one out later live with Moss, Roland, Rich will be popping in, Santi. We got international.
So we got Mexican, Canadian, Ghanaian representatives as well as
and then you got the
English.
Santi's representing both in Mexico and the USA.
And US, of course. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wish I was representing too in England, Jamaica, but we won't talk about that.
One day.
Munzie, we'll get into that, don't you worry. But here we go, people. Let's get it started. And for those who are new to the channel, this is the Premier League preview. We discuss the fixtures. You guys drop your predictions in the chat or comments if you're watching afterwards. And then this is how the table works. We have 3 points for a correct score. So, for example, if Wolves Villa, who are playing, Wolves, Ed guesses 2-1 Wolves. This is just off the top of the head. I'm not saying this is actual prediction. 2-1 Wolves. And then the game ends 2-1.
It's not likely because I never tend to pick Wolves to win. But yeah.
Exactly. You'll find out later. Make sure you stay along for that. But yeah, if he predicts 2-1 Wolves, the game finishes 2-1. Ed gets 3 points. And if he predicts 2-1 Wolves and they win 1-0 or 3-1, he gets 1 point. But if they draw or lose, no points. Nil point. So, hopefully you all get it. Let's get into the preview. So, Edmin, let's talk about Manchester United versus Leicester City. And the reason why I've put this first on the agenda, because we've changed up the order in the last few weeks or so, is mainly because this is a must-win game for Manchester United. It's against difficult opponents in Leicester who have underperformed this season. We'll get more into it. But, Ed, we just want to hear first someone like the form coming into the game for both sides, because I think it's quite interesting looking at Leicester's.
It is actually. So, guys, we have sort of mixed around the format with this as well. So I know we're a bit early today, so let us know in the comments later if you like sort of the way we're doing it now. So at the bottom there, the ticker is actually the last 5 meetings between these two teams. So we've got there that Man United have actually lost the last 3 with a draw and a win in the last five. We've got the XG there in the brackets, so it's 1.87 and Leicester's is 1.37. And the average goals, I'll just get those stats up for you now because I've got those as well. For this game, is expected to be just over 3 goals to 3.13. So there, if we look at the form in this fixture doesn't look great for Man United with losing the last 3 on the bounce. And the form of the teams, as we go into this, I'll put those up here as well. So we've got those now. We'll start with Man United. The form, a little bit indifferent, like their season, really, even though they're doing quite well still in the top 4, I believe. Is that right? They're still top 4?
No, they're outside.
They're fifth now. Sixth.
Yeah.
So their form kind of pushes that, doesn't it? There, which we can see in the last 5 games, they've drawn 2, lost 2, and only won the 1. And Leicester's form, very big upturn in form for Leicester.
There's only one. There's one L in there. Who did that come up against? Ed?
Oh, you tell us. You tell us, too.
The mighty Arsenal. You know already, people.
So, yeah, the one L in there was for the game against Arsenal, but in between that, they've gone on a run of 4 out of the last 5 they've actually won. So the form of both the, if we see along the ticker at the bottom, in the last fixtures and the form between the clubs, it's definitely edging towards Leicester. Obviously, Leicester are away from home.
Yeah, and it's interesting because with Leicester, we've spoke about them having an underwhelming season, haven't we, Ed, throughout most of these previews that we've been doing. But they are in 10th at the moment, which is underwhelming for their standard because they've been fighting for Champions League in recent seasons. But for a club like Leicester to be still within a shout of a top half finish and could get Europa Conference League, and they're in there and they're competing well, and they're probably one of the favourites to win it now. We have to think about that. And if you look back at they get how many victory, like if they win a trophy at the end of the season and still finish in the top half comfortably in the league, would you consider that as a good season?
It's difficult, isn't it, with Leicester, because you always expect them to kick on. Where they've been finishing, obviously they got the FA Cup win recently as well. But yes, I think if you remember Leicester City as the club that it is, not the club that it could be, that you would say that is a good performance. That is a good season. But maybe with where they've been recently, you'd expect the gradual climb that you'd expect. But clubs don't, it doesn't always happen like that, which is, I think, what Leicester are on sort of the back of a relatively good season last year. But again, they finished the season poorly. So maybe this is the season they finish the season better. And if they can join the 2 up, who knows where they could go.
It has been injuries for them, though, this season. And they will be welcoming back Johnny Evans and Wesley Fofana for this one, which is key figures in that defence, because we know Sionchu hasn't had as good of a season as we've seen previously. And then, they've just not really had a centre-back next to him all season. So that's probably played into his downturn in form. But Wesley Fofana, highly rated. He should probably get a start. It may take him a while for him to get back to the level that he was previously. Because, with big injuries like this, it's like when I was talking to Palace fans about Abiri Eze, calm down a little bit when he's first come back, because it takes a while for them to... Pedro Neto for yourself as well.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not been as... He's not looked as sharp. I'm sure he'll get back to it. Don't worry too much. But, when you first see it, it's a little bit... Ooh. Hopefully they're still the same player.
Fofana is one of the top prospects in the world at the minute, especially in his position, right? So to miss a player like that is, and obviously throughout the season they've been on and off without Vardy and other players like that. They're super
Vardy's
important.
not playing again. He's injured. He's out. No Ndidi as well. So there's some key players.
Yeah, Ndidi's out for the rest of the season. I've read earlier, so that's a huge loss. He's an incredibly important player, and probably one of those players underrated. Outside the top 6, could be the best player really in their position anyway. It's very
true. It's true. So it'll be interesting to see how United line up as well going into this one. Just let me. I'll tell you now, guys. If I sound a bit stuffy or anything, allergies are playing up again. It's spring over here, even though it's cold outside. Pollen count.
It's snowing and the pollen's up. Makes no sense.
Joke.
British weather. You could do a whole Tariq talks on British weather. To be fair, I reckon people would listen to it.
Exactly. But you know what, people? We'll get into your predictions now, and then we'll give ours. So let's have a look at this. Louis going in with a 1-1 right here. Big up Louis, saying a draw. I mean, if that is the case, Ed, surely that's curtains for the top four now for Man United, because it's not just based off of this game. Because if they draw this one, they're not going to have any confidence to go and push on, surely.
No, I've just looked at the table because it's been a couple of weeks since we did this, so I didn't realise they dropped out the top four quite so drastically.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were where Tottenham are, which is just one point above where they are, but in fifth. So that it's a very weird season for Man United. If you look at their 48 goals as well, they've not scored very many goals either. So it's just been, when you think about who they bought and how they have strengthened the attack rather than anything else, and to see that their goal difference is only 8, it's only 3 better than my team, and we don't score goals. That's crazy.
It shows the problems, though. It's been defensively. And when we talk about defensively, it's not, guys, in football, it's a lot more to do with just then the defense, the back five. It's how the team defend as a whole. That's how it is nowadays. But Paxton going in here with a 2-1 Manchester United win. Ronaldo, Sancho and Daka with the goal. Fad saying all games are must win now for United. And Mbappe confirmed. Is that to Real Madrid, is it?
I don't know. I've not seen that.
Okay. Bobby coming in with a 3-1 United win. So the TTF are going for United just to edge it. 2-1 says Jay. Sancho and Ronaldo. Sancho's had a good upturn in form, hasn't he, Ed, in recent weeks?
Yeah, I think he's gotten used to the pace of the Premier League and getting played a bit more. So, there was no doubt he was going to come good. But I think, it's the effort as well, isn't it? Effort levels. I think that's the biggest thing for me with Sancho. He's come in and he's tried hard. Even when he was struggling, he didn't hide. There was no hiding from Sancho. I think he's a very, very good player.
There we go. There you go. We forget it's the 1st of April. It's after 12 o'clock now. But you know what? Fair play. I didn't think of doing anything this year, but Peony Ween going for a 2-0. Is that the April Fool's joke? I'm joking, United fans. Paxton, don't shoot me down. I get a 5-3 PTSD when we play Leicester. That Di Maria chip, I remember.
Yes, I remember that game. That was when sort of Vardy made his stamp on the Premier League as well, wasn't it? That game.
Yeah, it was. And Fads, I'm not too sure about this. Fads saying the form pretty much reset after the international break. The men. I don't know if that actually happens. I think that's what you're hoping for, Fads.
Yeah.
But
it's strange whether or not it's form that resets or the team has to restart, and then we'll see. There's often a bit of a sluggishness after the international break.
Yeah, the games
maybe that will affect the form. Maybe that's where Fads is going. That sort of who maybe I'm just trying to guess. Maybe that the form maybe not resets, but kind of players have been away and come back, so maybe there's a little bit of a different momentum. Maybe. Yeah,
that I would agree with that. Yeah, because we haven't done too well in talk about Arsenal in terms of our performances after the international break. It's because when you're playing good and you got good players, they get picked up around the world. So it's easy to lose that kind of rhythm. Leicester top 8 is a good achievement. If they get if they get it, the standard of the league keeps getting higher. Exactly. I think it's a good season relatively for Leicester. You know what I mean? A trophy, that's all you can have. Maguire on goal. And Paxton say it wouldn't be surprising. Fad's going for a 3-0 United win. Matic saying in the locker room is very negative at the moment. We'll need to scrape across the line. Yeah, I don't think you will, because there's the difference between Arsenal and Man United. Yeah, you've got the quality, but it's that whole team cohesiveness.
There are some parallels to me between your club and Man United. I think Man United are where Arsenal were 2 or 3 seasons ago. The hard reset needs to be hit. We could stream on Man United for 7 days in a row and not get to the bottom of their problems at the minute.
For real, it's true. It's just so deep at the moment, bro. Like, and the scapegoats involved. We have to be honest.
Yeah.
But we'll go into our predictions. I've agreed with some people in the chat with a 3-1 win. Initially, I won't lie, I did go for a 2-1, but Ed sends me his predictions in first, so I'll try and like to mix them up a little bit. I've agreed with you, Bobby, with a 3-1 win to United. Right there. So, but Ed's gone for a 2-1 win.
Same as Jay, and I think Paxton as well went with a 2-1 as well. So
yeah, exactly. So we're seeing, Man United will eke over the line, and what is my main reason for saying that is because of Leicester's defensive troubles.
Yeah,
was that what it is for you?
Leicester's defensive troubles and the Old Trafford. They've been at home.
Yeah,
being at home for me. That was the other difference.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I'd say that as well. It won't be a pretty game to watch. CM coming in, agreeing with you there, Ed, in a 2-1 win.
So it looks like the TTF have gone with a 2-1 as well by the looks of it then.
Exactly.
At the minute, but comments in later, guys, because there's loads to catch up on.
If you agree with me or you think something else, get them in the comments. We move on into the next game. Big up to yourself, man. Big up to everyone in the chat watching live right now. And we'll move on. The reason I've gone for this one is the early game. We're going to get the title games the title challenges out of the way. And we'll start off in chronological order in terms of these two teams. Liverpool versus Watford here at Anfield. If Liverpool win this, they go first for the first time this season.
And the pressure cranks up. Exactly. This is going to be fun.
This is why it's the best part of the season right now. And this season's quite special in itself because we've got the relegation battle. We've got a title race, which is rare nowadays.
Yep.
And the top four. There's still places to be fought for.
Top seven, really.
Yeah, it's true.
As well.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's gonna be amazing. Make sure you tune in, people. We've got plenty coming up. Well, Ed, the record, it's not going to look great for Watford, surely.
It doesn't look great. Watford have that victory, one in there. So if you just see it ticking along
in Liverpool's title winning season, isn't it?
Yeah, when they sort of when Liverpool were on the ropes a little bit, not by much, but there was a couple of punches landed by other clubs. Watford, have lost 4 of the last 5. And if you look at the XG there, again, we could go on forever about Liverpool. 2.73 clear-cut chances expected in a game. That is nuts. And Watford's is at 1. And here, if we look at the form, Liverpool in the last 5 games, I think that loss was against Inter Milan, when they sort of dialed it in the Champions League. So 4 wins out of the last 5 games. And for Watford, it's not looking as pretty. They won their last game, but 3 losses and a draw in their form. So they've only picked up points 2 out of the last 5 games. So the form in both the fixture and the for the clubs itself, definitely pushing you in Liverpool's direction. And for those completists, the average goals for this one, if it helps you later on, 2.77. So pretty much going with the stats there, expecting 3 goals in this game.
See, interesting, man. When you said that XG, it's just ridiculous to get almost 3 clear-cut chances where they got to put in the back of the net, and that's taking away the brilliance of Salah and Diaz, Jota, Firmino, Mane,
Trent.
This is where we need to speak, though. Trent. This is why I'm seeing a lot of high score predictions for Liverpool. Have you seen anything regarding Trent's fitness? Is he back?
No.
Because remember, he got injured against Arsenal and didn't play against Forest because he was injured. So this is where I'm thinking, unless it's something, guys in the chat, let us know if we're all wrong. Big up to Steve as well in the place. Sorry, can't participate for 3 reasons. 1, I talk rubbish. 2, I can't spell. 3, I'm decorating. Oh, there we go. Congrats to MA. Oh, so Mikel Arteta got another manager of the month.
Uh-oh.
Big up yourself. Big up, Steve. But make sure you get them in the comments afterwards if you can, Steve. And that'll be fantastic. And big up to Ishi as well for coming in. So this is what I wanted to say. With Trent being missing, I think that is going to be a huge factor in... I've not gone with Liverpool blowing away, blowing Watford away. I'll go for the predictions now because, I mean, I said 3-0, but I went different again because I wanted to go 2-0 initially. But, like, I don't think it'll be as a free-flowing Liverpool as we expect against a Watford side who have been poor defensively because of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Guys, I really need to emphasize the point. This is why when I went through my player of the season, I went for Trent. Go check it out if you haven't done so already. You'll hear my reasons there. Everything runs through Trent in the attacking sense. There's a reason he makes the most passes. There's a reason he's the most creative player for Liverpool in chances created. There's a reason why he's got the most assists in the league.
He's nuts.
He's nuts.
I'm 30. I'm 37. I've never seen a right back do what he does. He's David Beckham mixed in with Kyle Walker, mixed in with other attack. He's incredible.
Yeah,
he's the best right back I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
There you go. You see, look. So he won't be ready, but he's on course to be back for the Manchester City. The game against Manchester City, which is next weekend.
I was just looking up. There's a potential he might miss the next couple of games, but he should be back for next weekend.
So remember that when you're thinking about these predictions, people. What you've got them in already? Unless you want to change them in the comments, let us know. But we'll have a look through them now. I've gone for a 3-0 Liverpool win. I don't see Watford scoring. Maybe nicking one.
Yeah,
maybe on the counter attack because let's give Watford a little bit of praise. They are very good. They've got some bright sparks going forward. You know, they definitely do have some bright spots going forward. But let's go through the predictions right now. Liverpool 4, Watford 1. Salah, Mane, Jota, Brace, Dennis the Menace. So Paxton going with Watford to nick one there. The same with Louis, but saying Watford are going to score first, which will kick Liverpool into gear. 5-0 because Watford are awful. 2-1 Liverpool. So Tishy's gone a bit more, pragmatic as well. I can see that happening, sis. I definitely can. Big prediction there. 6-0 says Bobby. Ooh. So going the opposite end of the spectrum. 4-2, thinking they might run away with it towards the end. But conceding 2 goals, this point of the season, it's not really about performances.
No.
But, conceding 2 goals, that will give a little bit of hope for the likes of City, who will be playing them next week. But Bobby's replied and said, I think the fact Salah is out of the World Cup and more annoying, confident Mane will be all guns firing personally. Yeah, you can see that chip on the shoulder type thing. And when Salah has that, he goes in ridiculous form. But Rich going with 3-0 Liverpool. Emmanuel Dennis hangover after being knocked out of not qualifying for the World Cup because Ghana are in there. But we'll move on into the next game now.
So guys, really, really important, guys. For if you're watching afterwards, TTF went all over the place there with their predictions. So yeah, please do get them in the comments later.
You're giving Edmund nightmare.
Yeah, basically.
But Burnley versus Manchester City, make sure you get them in now. Jay slipping his prediction in there with a 4-0 Liverpool. But Burnley versus Manchester City now. So this game at Turf Moor, once again, it's a title contender versus a relegation battler, which, do you know what, guys? This is why I find it interesting. I know I've gone for a 3-0 win, so my prediction says a little bit different, says it's more comfortable. But this point of the season, we see a madness, don't we, Ed?
And this is why the Premier League is the best league in the world. Because if you're telling me whoever's first and second is playing the teams in the bottom 3 in most other leagues, we wouldn't give a puncher's chance to those other teams.
No
but
way.
Burnley and Watford have a puncher's chance in this league. It's different. It's a different league.
It's true. Exactly. And even though Liverpool and City are on a new level, there's still a chance. There is. So I look at the record right there, though, Ed. I'm having a look at that. It's looking kind of one-sided once again.
I think that actually that's the last 5 meetings, but I think we can go back 6 or 7. I think before Burnley pick up anything.
A draw maybe at that.
Yeah,
I think that was when Sterling missed that sitter, if you can remember.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of those. I love Raheem Sterling, but there's an awful lot of him missing sitters, isn't there, in his career? But when you're in the positions he's in, he's going to miss sitters sometimes.
Exactly. And then looking at the XG again, 2.42.
Yeah,
it's a joke, isn't it, Ed?
Yeah, I think Man City's. I think Rich, if you're still in the comments and still watching, mate, you're going to love this because City's XG took a battering after the Crystal Palace game. It's gone down an awful lot since then in comparison. But 2.42, these, in the off season, I might do a little video on what XG is and why that is amazing. 2.42 that means 2.5 open goals, basically. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Burnley's at 1.13. And yeah, like you say, the form there to go through it. Man City have won, I think, at least the last 6.
Yeah, it's a joke. And it's mad. It is mad when you're looking at it. And then Burnley's form coming into
Burnley's form there, not great. 1, a draw, and then the last 3 games they've lost. Maybe hoping for Fads' reset that we talked about earlier. And Man City's form, I mean, you could argue not great for them. Those 2 draws there are, the draw against Palace is why the title race is very much on, but unbeaten in the last 5.
Yeah, it's not great for Man City because they have got Liverpool hot on their tails. But even for any other title challenge, title winner, your title challenger, that's not bad form. No. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy.
Something to think about is obviously some of the players coming back from international duty that have gone quite a long way as well.
Yeah. Ruben Dias injury he picked up before the international break, so he might not be back until the Liverpool game too. So it'll be interesting because John Stones had to drop out as well due to injury. So we could see a Laporte-Ake centre-back, which isn't the most convincing pairing when you have Weghorst still about. And with the early promise that he's shown, and if Maxwell Cornet can return to that level of form that he showed at the start of the season, they could cause some problems, Burnley. Let's have a little bit of a chat about that now, because Burnley's, you know what they're going to do. We all know what they're going to do. People want them down. To be honest, I want them down because I just want a refresh of teams in the league. But I actually have a little bit of appreciation for how they play football, because it's not as bad as Stoke. No. It's not as bad as Tony Pulis at West Brom. When West Brom now are playing horrendous football. But
Steve Bruce will do that though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. Even it was not as bad as Steve Bruce's, because I remember watching Burnley at the start of the season against Liverpool, pressing them off the park. Liverpool at Anfield. I know Liverpool won 2-0 in the end, expected with the quality that they have. But Burnley aren't actually. I think it's a little bit of a lazy stereotype to put Burnley and just say, "Oh yeah, they just play turgid football."
Yeah, and it's a touch on the point that I made earlier about the fact that games in the Premier League are interesting because Burnley, they don't play Wimbledon long ball from the early 90s. They're direct, they press hard, but they don't play bad football. They just play different football. That's why the Premier League's so good, is because we have that.
Yeah. It's direct. It's not even always necessarily long ball, because they'll have, even if they do play it long, they'll get nice little touches, play it around. Dwight McNeil's had a poor season. I think that's added into their poor form and poor season as a whole, because he's very influential when we talk about creators. And then it's not as bad as people make out. Defensively, how they set up defensively, I can hear that because it's very low block and they're not trying to press like too many teams. Like they won't be pressing Man City in this game. No. We know that, but they can cause a little bit of problems going forward with the right players in attack. Yeah,
and Dwight McNeil could play higher up in the league on his day. He's good enough. Weghorst has come in and done really pretty well, considering he's coming out of the cold, so to speak, and never played in this league. But which is why I have given Burnley a goal for that exact reason.
There we go, exactly right there. And we'll run through yours in the chat, people. So we got that. That was previous one. 3-1 City agreeing with you. There we go, another 3-1 from Louis and Bobby. 4-0 City, says Jay. So they're not having any of our talk. But Peeny's gone for 2 goals. So he's gone for 4. Is that 4-2? You've gone for both ways.
I think he has.
To Liverpool and City. Interesting. Paxton agreeing with you there. Manchester City winning. Weghorst scoring. KDB, Sterling and Silva. 2-0 City, says Rich. That's why I've gone for Rich. I think it will be a little bit closer in that way, because Burnley can't afford to get their goal difference, have another hit like they did against Chelsea. Man City probably need the goal difference as well, actually, thinking about it. 3-1 City, says Tish, and then big up G Staffy for winning chocolate bar in PE.
I've seen the comments, and I agree, Tish, that definitely does defeat the object of PE. Run around a lot to get a chocolate bar. But
exactly. Yeah. Ironic. That is Grace. Exactly. Big up Tishi as well, going back to work. Make sure you get your predictions in after Tish. Make sure you do. But can Burnley do it on a cold, rainy night at Stoke?
No one wants to see that.
We saw what Sean Dyche was doing in a snowy day. Oh, it's all right.
That's the main reason why I'm not a Burnley fan. Is I'm just not a Sean Dyche fan. Just not a Sean Dyche fan at all.
Do you know what? Let me tell you this, guys, because you guys probably won't know this, but Ed will wear a t-shirt in the snow. He's a little bit like Sean Dyche on that. Ed,
yeah, but I don't go out and tell people that I'm doing that.
Just... yeah, you see, I'll do that instead. I see. I'm surprised you don't like that about Sean Dyche, because if that was you, you'd wear shorts and a t-shirt. You know what I mean? But guys, we're going into the next one now, into the next game. And this one's big because when we look at West Ham versus Everton, you've got to think they've both got something to play for. West Ham still outside-ish chance. They're still within it. They're still within the top four race, just at this moment in time. But we know with West Ham's priorities, what they're going to be looking at for the remainder of the season now is they've got a favourable draw in the Europa League against Lyon, a struggling Lyon side. Still have quality players, of course, but it won't be easy. But they can certainly winnable game after what they've done to Sevilla. Then you're looking at Everton. Wow, my days! Matt was on this channel not too long ago during the international break, and boy, how big is this for Everton? Frank Lampard returning as well. He's not really loved by the West Ham faithful.
That's true.
There's another bit of storyline in there. I forgot about it too. I just remembered it. But yeah, it's going to be big. It is huge. Ed, the record right there. Talk to us.
So the record couldn't be any more split, to be fair. Big up, Wilf. How's it going? We've got there the Everton against West Ham at, I was going to say Upton Park, but it's not Upton Park anymore. It's 2 wins for both teams and a draw. And if we see there the XG, not much between them, 1.61 and 1.32. And that's been pretty much a standard for both of these teams throughout. There's a slight bluntness with Everton, of course, for most of this season. And West Ham, kind of the fulcrum around Antonio and the players around him. But they do produce some good attacking football at times. Yeah, and if we look at the form of both teams, if we look at West Ham first, they are the home team. Bit up and down, 3 losses and 2 wins, so no draws in the last 5 games for West Ham on the back of a loss. And Everton's form, very up and down, 2 wins and 3 losses in the last 5 again. So both teams, neither of them have drawn in the last 5 games.
There we go, right there, people. It's not looking. It's looking tight. XG said a little bit tight as well.
And for completeness on the stats as well, guys, the average goals is expecting 3 goals in this game. So the average goals is going with the fact that these 2 teams don't draw. So you can't draw with 3 goals.
Exactly. There you go. Quick maths right there. We're talking about how am I going to segue this? James Collins, who used to play for West Ham, he was ginger as well. Sean Dyche imitating Ed. I'm a t-shirt wearer all year round. Us gingers are made of tougher stuff. It's
true.
Dyche, Ed, Bobby, you are made differently. I'm telling you. But yeah, guys, in the chat, what's your predictions? What you've gone with a 2-1 win, Jay, to West Ham? 2-1 win, agreeing with you there, Bobby. West Ham 1-0. Everton, late Bowen winner. Bowen returning, of course, after injury. 2-0 West Ham. 3-0 says Peony.
We have another 2-1 there from Wilf, yeah.
And Wilf saying Everton are done. Yes, Wilf did predict this earlier on in the season. Saying
a long time ago now.
Yeah. When it still looked like they had a chance as well. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see there. And it will be interesting to see West Ham, how they will drop off in the late stages or not. Basically, Pax, all I can say to you is, yeah, they definitely will drop off if they make it into the semi-finals. And I can put my bottom dollar on that. Shall I tell you why? Because I've seen teams with much bigger squads, than West Ham go late on into the Europa League and drop off. I mean, Arsenal, we've done it. We've dropped off in other seasons. Unai Emery, last season we dropped off towards the end too. So yeah, I really don't see like West Ham being able to keep it and maintain it with the small squad that they have. Yeah. They only have one striker in Antonio. Bowen. He's just coming back from injury, so they're going to be quite careful with him. Declan Rice, he'll probably play all of the games because he's just an engine like that. Yeah. But yeah, there's key players in there that have picked up little niggles in the injury in the season. And they will rotate them. Ben Johnson, he'll get brought into the side.
Yep.
And hopefully cause not cause too many problems when Arsenal play them. Because I think when Arsenal do play West Ham, it's in between their semi-final.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you're right in the middle.
Semi-leg.
You're right in the sweet spot of potentially they either need to focus on the second leg or they know where they are. I'm expecting a win in that one. For Arsenal.
Hopefully. In our predictions, Ed, talk to me now, brother, because you've gone with a draw.
Because of this.
You think they'll drop off now, though?
I can see there's a little. Wolves did exactly the same when we got to.
Oh yeah, true. Good point.
And I watched us sort of looking in the horizon and not looking at what was in front of us. And I see a scrappy Everton team getting something out of this game. So that's why I'm going with a 1-1. I wouldn't pick an Everton win if I was between the two. It would be a West Ham win or a draw. And although all of the stats say no draw,
I was about to say, that's all smiling.
I'm going with it.
I was about to say that. I was like, hang on. Isn't this the guys that's telling us not to go with a draw?
No, I'm saying the stats say don't go with a draw.
No, don't listen to him. He's setting you up for failure. This is why he's top of the league. All right. But all jokes aside.
I'm just seeing this as sort of, I can see Everton eking out a couple of points. I only think they need 2 or 3 in the few games to go because I think there's still too much of a bit of a gap there with the other teams. And I see this just sort of West Ham, one eye on where they're going. I see Everton scoring first in this game.
Okay, and then trying to hold on, but their defense won't be strong enough. Okay,
yeah,
I see that. I think it's one of those ones. It's the cliches, bringing up a football cliche. Whoever scores first, is the most important. Because if West Ham score first, I think they'll take it by a breeze. Unless, there is a possibility Everton could still get a draw. But if West Ham score first, I do not see Everton winning. The best they could get is a draw. Whereas if Everton score first, I could see that like West Ham struggling as well. It will be interesting. It will be interesting indeed. I've gone with the West Ham win. Jared Bowen coming back.
Yeah, I think there's too much on Mikel Antonio's broad shoulders, personally, for me. Yeah. And I think we had very similar with Jimenez at this time of the season in that when we were doing well in Europe. So that's just
he's had the difference with Jimenez and Antonio. Antonio's had a little bit of a rest because he wasn't representing Jamaica.
True.
The international duty. So that's well needed for him because he was struggling a little bit, like even fitness wise. I know he's been struggling in form of late. Well, basically 2022. Yeah. But he's had that little bit of a rest now. So it could be vital. I think Jared Bowen returning will be something. Ed betrayed us all. Exactly.
Wilfred, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah.
You know it, people. Get at him, Ed. Get out, Ed. And then Bobby saying in here, I love Mr. Stats. Still goes with his heart. Shows the beauty of the game. So
I'm just giving you that. I'm just giving you the whole picture before I then say that I think the stats on this game, I don't see it coming true.
Yeah, exactly. You see, you're the real Statman Pax. You stick by your stats. Big up though. And I can see where you're coming from though, Ed, and it probably will happen like that. But West Ham win. Come on, need the points. Even if it's a 2-1 win, 2-0, whatever. This is one more point gaining on it.
Maybe selfishly as well, I want West Ham to only get a point because obviously we're 2 points behind them. So
think of it that way.
Maybe it is the heart.
And another one for the top 4. This is where we're going to be going into the top 4 contender games right now. Newcastle away to Tottenham don't really have. Well, they've got Pride to play for. They've still got next season to build up on. Big up Brush as well, just joining in. Spurs, they definitely need to win this one if they're to have contention. Come on, I will be honest now. Yeah, I've said this. Spurs aren't in the top 4 race. Discount them, get them out. They are. They're more in this top 4 race than Man United. But I still stick by my word. I don't think Tottenham are going to get top 4 because of games like this. But Ed, what's the records and stat telling us for this one?
So
prove me right or wrong?
I think it's in between, to be honest. The last 5 games, Spurs are coming out on top with 2 wins, 2 draws, and only losing 1 game, and that was a good couple of seasons ago now, I believe. And if we look at the form for both teams as well, so if we got with Spurs' form first, it's not looking too bad. There's a couple of losses in there, but 3 wins are on the back of a couple of wins where they broke that win-loss run that they were on. Newcastle's form, obviously there was 3 wins and then there's been a couple of draws, a couple of losses in the last 5 games, where I think maybe, as you talked about, they've kind of done the hard work, hard yards, they got themselves kind of out of trouble and then thought, okay, we're done now, let's sort of consolidate. And they lost Trippier and a couple of other things as well. So yeah, I think they've dipped off on their form, but again, we're after the international break now, so who knows where we are with the foot off the pedal. And if we look at the XG there just quickly, the average goals for this game 2.7, and the XG for Spurs is 1.66, and Newcastle's is 1.37. So Spurs' XG actually in the last few games has actually jumped up.
Yeah, Kane and Son, Kulusevski, that front three have been trouble. They have been trouble. But when we're looking back at what you said, talking about the form for Newcastle going into it, like they've had 2 defeats in there, and that was against Chelsea and Everton. Last-minute winners as well. Against Chelsea, very undeserved. Like
the Havertz elbow, and then he does a brilliant
elbow. Chalobah
finish.
Penalty. Oh, yeah. Beautiful goal that was, yeah. I'm not taking that away, but I don't know, man. Of course, my bias, my heart is going to say Newcastle. I want it to happen. I think they can. Joe Linton, we're talking about him. He's my player of the season. Hopefully, he's back and returning fit, because that guy in the midfield is a machine.
Yeah, real turnaround.
I got to ask a question to you, Ed, because you're older than me. You watch more football than me. Have you ever seen a player move into a different position and completely transform his form and the way people see him?
Yeah. Your top goal scorer of all time, Thierry Henry.
Was that whilst he was at Arsenal as well?
Yeah. Don't forget his first season, him and Pires, people were out on them both because they were out of position. Wenger hadn't quite got them in the right place yet, and then both of them bang. But with Henry moving from being a winger to a centre forward was huge. There's probably loads of others, and Joe Linton obviously isn't fit to lace the boots of Thierry Henry. I'm not comparing them as players, but in terms of where they both were, I mean, he came to Arsenal from Juventus on the back of people thinking he was done and this was a strange decision. And then look where he's one of the top 3 players that's ever played in the Premier League.
Exactly.
Maybe the best.
And just to add on to Richie's point there, it's very true. Good coaching and a manager who trusts you. That's what it is. If a manager puts you in somewhere, recognises your abilities and puts you in areas of the pitch and gets the best out of you, it's a different ball game. And this is where football, it's not as black and white as people make out. Oh, he's crap. Oh, he's great. He's amazing. It's all relative.
Yeah,
it's all based on opinions and subjectivity and managers trusting you, not trusting you, vice versa.
There's a player in my team, Wolves. 5 seasons ago, Conor Cody's Wolves career was done. True. He was playing right back, out of position. He wasn't really in the team for anything other than the fact that he was a steady Eddie and he was there. He had 1 pre-season with Nuno where he went, do you know what? I want to play through at the back and I can see you being my sweeper. And now he's 6-7 caps into England. He's probably a lock to get into the England squad, even if he's just there as a squad player. Nice to be around. He's a Premier League quality defender now that he would not have been under another manager. So coaching is huge.
Exactly that. It's big. It's big. We'll get into that later. We'll do that as like ending the show. That was because we spoke about United now, so it makes sense to do it at the end. But yeah, in terms of predictions, is that a 2-2 from Bobby going into this one?
Yeah.
And then 2-1 Tottenham, Kane double. He's been in fantastic form of late. Harry Kane, especially for Spurs. 2-1 Spurs agreeing with you, Paxton and Jay on the same wavelength. Scrappy game, Son, Kane, Wilson. I think he's injured. He's not meant to be back to the end of the season. So you're going to have to go with like ASM or Chris Wood or something like that. Instead, 1-1 says Peony. Spuds losing 3-1 to as Tishy would say. Newcastle on the bounce back ability trade to Army. Stop the boom police, exactly. And it shows Eddie Howe is a good manager, which is hard for some people to see. I think also just a little talk on Eddie Howe. Ed. Do you think the fact that he's English gets a little bit of a bad reputation as well? for his managerial?
Yeah, I think so, and I think he can be a bit of a wet lettuce sometimes in interviews as well, Carney. Which is, and that's not a dig at him. Like, he's just not like the most compelling of watches, which sometimes makes people think that like he won't get the respect of the dressing room.
Yeah.
But he did really well at Bournemouth. Bournemouth did play a brand of football I really enjoyed to watch. But he did well at Bournemouth. He's doing well at Newcastle. I think this will be the making of whether or not he's a good coach. What he's doing with Joe Linton proves that he is a good coach. And I think maybe it's whether he'll be the manager that Newcastle need to manage the impending egos that they're bound to have.
Exactly. There you go. And then whilst they're adding to your point about Henry right there, Everton to win 4-0 Sunday, lads. Matt coming in and adding that one in there. Spurs 2-1. So, yeah, I think 2-1 is what
2-1. 2-1's winning for the TTF.
And Louis saying 3-2 to Spurs, Kane hat-trick. So it's going to be close. And Peeny was having this conversation in the Discord server the other day with Tish as well. Me, Tish, Peeny, Grace in there. Big up, man. Peeny, exactly. There we go, people. So what's our prediction, Ed?
Well, I've gone with the Newcastle win.
You went for it? Did you actually as well?
Yeah.
Have I made an admin error?
No. That's what I've gone for.
Don't scratch your eyes, people. It's true. Ed's got talk to me, bro.
It's St. Otteringham's Day soon, right?
Yeah.
I just see Newcastle getting a win in this game. I just do. Spurs still up and down. They're still interesting to watch. Newcastle. The only thing that sort of I hadn't thought of when I made this is that Chris Wood is coming back from the other side of the world. So whether or not he'll be back and fit. But yeah, I'm going with the Newcastle.
Exactly.
Newcastle win.
People, this is why we love Everton. This is why we love Everton. I've gone a bit. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I've gone for it. I've gone for Spurs winning by 2-0. I don't.
Yeah, which one of us is the Arsenal fan here?
This, you know how it is, people. You know how it is. I'd love to see. Look at that. Go on, Ed, son. Love it. Even Jay's loving it. I've got to be realistic. Yeah, I think it will. Newcastle will probably dominate in possession, but with how Spurs play the counter attack, that's going to play right into their hands. Kane, Son, Kulusevski, bad boy front three, and they're going to
sleep
problems.
on John Joe Shelby.
It's going to be that midfield battle is going to be interesting, which is why I really want Joe Linton, because let's be honest, Joe Linton is probably the best out of the midfielders. I'd say, he's got most energy. If you look at the stats this season, tackles, energy, chances, shots, all of that, he's box to box. He does everything that Spurs want from a midfielder. He could be there. I'm not saying this way. Joe Linton to Spurs, maybe. Who knows? Musa Sissoko-esque transfer. But T back in Spurs. Look at that. My dad knows.
See,
that's
Will
my dad. That is.
As well.
Yeah,
you'll all think I'm mad until I'm right, and if I'm not right, you'll all just think I'm mad. So I can't really lose.
Exactly. So here we go. There's the predictions. I won't go too long into it, but it's a win-win either way. You see, I don't know, forfeit at the end of the season. But we'll move on into the next one. You know what? It's the YouTube derby, isn't it? It's the community.
It's the TTF derby. This is at the minute.
This is exactly that. It's the battle. EEF, TTF. It's a big one. I did a preview up on Richie's show yesterday with Alexis. Big up Alexis from Soccer Cooligans. It was nice to see there. Meet fellow Arsenal fans from around the world. New York, big up New York. But sorry, I'm not going to go further into that. I don't want to offend people. But I say, so Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Yeah, Ed. That's not looking. Is that Arsenal? Is that Palace's? That's 5.
That's this last 5 games between these two teams.
Yeah, and that's for Palace, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's one. So Arsenal unbeaten in the last 5 against Palace, and Palace have only lost to 1. So 4 draws and just a 1 win there for Arsenal. And if we look at the form, Palace's form, unbeaten in the last 5, 3 wins and a couple of draws. I think one of those was the drubbing of Matt's Everton. And for Arsenal, form similarly very, very good, with only the 1 loss and 4 wins in the last 5 games. And if you look at the XG, there not a lot between them. Palace 1.34, Arsenal's 1.46, and the average goals for this game. Just to complete off all the stats, and I can confirm I have gone with the stats I believe in this game. It's 2.8, so is expected between 2 and 3 goals in this game, depending on that.
People, it's interesting now. Big up Luca as well coming in the place, and also let us know that Zaha is out. They have been on the treatment table. Elise as well. Doesn't look like they will risk it. I don't think they will. Not for this one with their big semi-final coming up. Not next weekend, the weekend after, 2 weeks time. So it's going to be interesting. But guys in the chat, let me see your predictions going into this. Paxton, this is why you packs. This is why you Statman packs. Crystal Palace 1, Arsenal 2, Zaha. But he's changed it to Elise. But neither of them might not be playing. So is that you're going to go with a 2-0 Arsenal? You're going to, in that way? Saka and Odegaard with the goals? Matt, get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, Eze. I was going to Eze now. Here we go. Bobby said a 3-2 Arsenal win. High-scoring game. I know. Monday night under the lights at Selhurst Park. 2-1 Arsenal win. Come on, you Gunners. Exactly. And Louis coming in. Crystal Palace fan. Even if we have Zaha and Elise out, I still think we have a chance. Just shows how good of a manager Vieira is. You are spot on. You do definitely have a chance of grabbing something because as a side, it's just so good to watch. You create chances. When you can as well, when you're coming up against the top sides, you can shut up shop at the back. And Paxton saying Arsenal to score 3 away goals. Do you know what? I can see Pax, and the reason I say that is because Palace, yes, they have been great going forward, and you know what? They can shut up shop like we've seen against City. Set pieces is their nemesis, and Arsenal set pieces this season. I'm going to say it now, and this is the first time I'm saying it on a preview. We haven't conceded a goal from a set piece all season. No. Cue Palace to go and bang in a header.
Do you know what happened the last time someone said that on a preview show? It was me that said it about Wolves, and then Wolves let one in.
Oh, man. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, people. I'm sorry if it happens. But in terms of predictions, you've gone with a 1-1. I've gone with a 2-0. So you've gone with the stats there. Why do you see it unfolding like this?
Palace at home, under the lights, Monday Night Football. They're a much improved team. Didn't know Zaha was out, to be fair. But I'm still happy with my prediction. I see this being a tight game. Palace at home can make it difficult for anybody. And the last 5 games, 4 have been draws. So I'm going with the stats. After not going with the stats the last 2 games, I'm going with the stats now.
Yeah. Oh, you see what I'm saying? You never know. He's unpredictable, Ed. You know what I mean? So one moment he's going with stats, next moment he's not. You never know. But here we go. I've gone with a 2-0 Arsenal win. I don't think it'll be comfortable. I think in relatively speaking for Arsenal will be comfortable. But there will be moments where Palace will be knocking on the door, making saves from Leno, I believe, having chances. It'll be a good battle between Tyreek Mitchell and Bukayo Saka. Indeed, that will be a good battle to watch. And then Martinelli on that left flank. I think Martinelli will start. ESR had a good game against, he did have a brilliant game against Aston Villa, I thought. Faded off towards the end in the second half after 60 minutes, but that's because he's not started for how many games, so it's expected, really. But yeah, Martinelli, I think that will be the problem. And the midfield battle, that midfield battle, Gallagher with his tenacity, his aggression, his dynamism as well going forward with his good technical ability up against Odegaard, Partey, Xhaka. It's going to be a good one, people. Are
you watching along? Is this a watch along?
You know it, bro. You know I am. Exactly that. And we're going to be having the likes of Jay, Louis coming in and cause, if Palace do nick one.
The only thing is Jay's still not said 9-0.
It's
true. Can't be that confident.
He's saying I'm too confident. I need to get humbled. He's saying, you know what I mean? But I'm saying, you know what? I'll be back in Palace against Chelsea. You already know how it is. We need the win. We need the win more than you. And I think that might just edge it. Sato is in the place saying, hi, Tariq. I won't be here for the live draw, but hopefully I can watch your recorded video afterwards. In Sato, most definitely. Thank you for coming in, my bro. Hope you're keeping good. And yes, Tariq, watch along fume, says Matt right here. And Jay's not saying it. But interesting to see in the place, but you have gone with a 2-1 Palace win.
That's another one, guys, that we're going to need you in the comments afterwards because there was a bit all over the place that was.
So this is I think this is the last game that has, well, until we get to the double game week, the last one, which this is the last game that has something really riding on it. Leeds up against Southampton, bro. What's the records and stats for this one?
So for Leeds versus Southampton, we've got in the last 5 games, we have 2 wins for Southampton and 3 wins for Leeds. And the XG there, if you see that, 1.70. Leeds' XG, they're the new Brighton. It's been so good all year, but they don't score the goals that they should. And Southampton slightly less at 1.45. And if we look there at the form for both teams, Leeds' form, slight upturn on the back of a couple of wins under the new manager, Jesse Marsh. And Southampton's form, I think a slight dip, you would like to say. 4 losses out the last 5 games with just that 1 win. Southampton are definitely a Jekyll and a Hyde team, which is why they're probably where they are in the league at the moment. They go on runs where we've done on this previous show all season, where there's 2 or 3 wins, a draw, they go unbeaten for 4, and then they'll lose a couple on the bounce. And we're seeing that currently at the moment as well. So it's a very, very tight game, this one. And just to finish off the stats, expected to be a winner in this game with 3.22 as the average goals.
Well, speaking of Leeds, you felt the full brunt of them, didn't you, in the last game you played? Bottling it. Jimenez was never a red card. It was never a red card, though.
No, but it wasn't a red card, but then we just didn't manage the game properly at all. We just completely and utterly let it go.
I know. And that's not typical of Wolves, though, with how you've been set up defensively this season.
No, it's the first time we've kind of sort of lost it a little bit. Romain Sage did crazy Sage things he hadn't been doing all year. He's due 2 or 3 of those a year, and he's done them both in that same game. So.
That's all right. At least he's got them out, though. But guys, if you haven't seen them, but some of the goals in that game is ridiculous. It's pinball machine, like in the box.
The quality of the game was not Premier League quality.
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
It was a championship game with everything going on, just with Premier League badges on their arms. No player kind of came out of that looking good, not even Leeds.
And you had a good record against Leeds as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like 43. Like madness, but hey, they nicked it at the end. Luke Ayling doing his Robbie Keane impression.
Yep.
But guys in the chat, let's see what your prediction is for this one. Leeds 0, Southampton 0. I'm hoping Southampton can keep this poor run of form going because they've gotten 2. After next week is Arsenal. So yeah, we got Brighton next week. Sorry, Palace fans, but I said the name. Tough game. This can go either way. I'm gonna say Leeds 2-1 just because they're at home. Ed language. 3.
I said the B word. That's why.
I said it as well. Apologies, Jay. We're just teasing, But 3-0 Southampton. Says Peony. 2-1 Leeds, says Bobby. 2-2, Ted Lasso doing his thing. There we go. Right there. And any more predictions? Big up Scotty in the place as well. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, Southampton, better win. Matt's thinking of Everton here. I understand. I definitely do. But guys, what have we gone for? I've gone for a 2-2 draw. So I think that's the same as Wilf in the place. And then you've gone with Jay and Bobby.
I have, yeah.
So
I see Leeds just edging it. Like I said, Southampton often on these runs of forms where they just let a couple of things go. And also, Southampton don't really have a lot to play for. Leeds do. So that for me just gives them that slight edge.
Even though Ralph Hasenhüttl said in a press conference that top 10 finish is vital for their transfer plans. But, how that's not going to motivate the players.
I don't know how much that motivates players.
We need to get in here so I might get out the squad. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not how it really works. But, I don't think it will make too much of a difference for him saying that. But we'll move on. And this is interesting because Wolves have this, no one really thinks it's going to happen. But they have the slightest of chances. This mathematically possible for making top 4. But,
it's mathematically possible, but it's not going to happen.
But Europa League, are you looking at that? Are you looking at 6th or?
Sixth, seventh, I'd snap your hand off for either of them. European football is what Wolves need to hold on to a couple of the players that it might hold us onto Neves for one more season. I doubt it, but it might. Yeah. So it's imperative for me. And obviously Neves is out of this game as well. He's out until the last couple of games of the season. So
is he?
When you think about your predictions, guys, make sure you do that.
Oh, I might change. I don't know. I didn't know about that. But Neves is out in this West Midlands derby against Villa, 3:00 kickoff.
It's the mind the gap derby. If people don't mind. 10 points. 10 points.
Yeah, 10 points. You're hearing that? You see, Ed's got a little bit of bite in him. You know what I mean? Like, I know he didn't give me that bite when he could have slapped me after I celebrated that last minute.
I'm not Will Smith.
True.
It's not the way to end things.
Exactly. Oh man, you showed me Will Smith how it's done. But go give us the stats into this one because the XG is looking mad.
Yeah, the XG, not a lot between them, 1.32, and obviously Villa's is 1.23 there. As you can see, the last 5 meetings, it doesn't read that badly for Wolves. 3 wins out of 5 with 1 draw, and only the 1 win for Villa. And if we're looking at the form, the Wolves, those 2 L's there are why we aren't in the top 4 race or the top 5 race, personally. Right now, we kind of let it go against Leeds. We also sort of stuttered under in the West Ham and Arsenal games as well. And 3 wins, though. And then for Aston Villa, their form, quite similar. I think it's exactly the same, I believe, actually saying it now. Lost the last 2 games, won the 3 before then. And if you look at the bottom there, the XG, there's not a lot between us. And the average goals is 2.24 for this game.
Interesting. And who
very tight. Very, very tight.
Ed, could you enlighten me? What's one of them L's for Villa? Who is it?
Was that the Arsenal game as well, was it?
Of course, Bukayo Saka. Of course. Steven Gerrard, salty. Ashley Young, salty. We love it. Arsenal, we're back, baby. But let's go in the score predictions in the chat right now because Peony Weenie has gone for some high scoring games, and he's gone for a 6-goal thriller, 3-3 draw in this one. And Bobby's gone for a high scoring draw too, saying keep the noise down, please. That won't be keeping the noise down. I'll tell you that. There's that many goals.
No, that's towards the Villa fans. Just quiet down.
Exactly. Wolves 3, Aston Villa 2, but Jimenez.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, Paxton, because he's been suspended for 2 games for a red card that wasn't even a yellow.
Exactly, because he got his second red card of the season, didn't he?
But I mean, both red cards were silly. One was for him, and one was the refereeing decision.
Stupid, man. Oh man, -2. He started that game week for me. Shocking. 1-0 for my dad, says Wilf. And I think Scott is trying to get you here. He's trying to get the fish, get the fishing rod. Trying to get some bait on that. 6-0 even.
Let's still be 7 points behind. It's fine.
Exactly. Look at that. He's being nice after they claimed 3 points at your ground too.
They didn't just claim 3 points; they took them. We were not in either of those games against Palace this year.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. Did it miss the first part of the show? Did anyone get exact predictions?
No, only you last week. Yeah. Last game week got one prediction. We'll do the scores right at the end.
Yeah, we will.
But it's tight.
He's done that on purpose. He knew he did. He did that on purpose. Big up yourself, Wilf. Ed, is West Brom the team you hate the most?
I don't really hate any team personally. So they are Wolves' biggest rivals historically, but my dad's an Albion fan, so it's always softened it a little bit.
That's why. Yeah, it's true. But Jay, just something for you. It's not Wolves and West Brom. Wolves is not West Brom's actual closest rivalry. It's Villa, isn't it? They're actually closer to Villa.
Because the only thing really for West Brom is actually they're technically in Birmingham. They're not a Black Country team, but
they're all on the edge of
right on the
Black
edge.
Country. Yeah, it's true. It's all goals, baby. I love that. It's about time Wolves turned it around.
Fingers crossed.
Jimenez streaked it on the field. Jay, stop following it. What's this around Sainsbury's?
They're on their South London chat.
Oh yeah, because the Sainsbury's by Selhurst Park, and I've heard I already know that because of the Eagle Eye family. Big up, man. Big up the Crystal Palace mandem in here. But I've gone with a 2-1 Villa win, and I've gone for that because Jimenez. I mean, not Jimenez. Yeah, Jimenez and Neves being missing. And you've gone for a draw. Is that into your prediction as well, with Neves and Jimenez being missing?
Yeah, Neves, Jimenez not being in the game.
Big up, Noel. Hope you well anyway, man.
Stats kind of pushing us towards a draw, and we need a point. We need something. We need to stop the rot that we're in before the international break.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, Martin, Villa fans, I think that you'll take this one and you'll bounce back. So, next game, another derby, West London derby, Chelsea versus Brentford. Can't imagine there's going to be too many fixtures dating back into this one again, like it is all the time with Brentford.
I think, interestingly, these two teams both played each other a lot in the late 2010s in FA Cups and stuff, or League Cups. So they're relevant in terms of they're new, but yeah, it's not anything you need to really look into. Chelsea's unbeaten in the last 5 games, but like I say, that goes back to like 2010, 2009. XG for both teams, 2.01 for Chelsea, the highest they've been at for a long, long time, and Brentford's is 1.11. That has jumped up so much since Christian Eriksen's playing for them. It's unbelievable. Chelsea's form, 5 wins out of the last 5 games. They can't really have done it any better, on the field at least. And for Brentford, bit up and down. 2 wins. The 2 wins have probably secured their Premier League status for one more season, and 3 losses that are on the back of a loss.
Oh, interesting there, people. In the chat right now, we got predictions: 3-1 Chelsea, 5-0 Chelsea. Wow, man, I can't see Chelsea doing that. 2-1 says Scotty. And then agreeing with you, Pack, saying 2-1 to Chelsea as well. Havertz, Mount. always comes from Paxton. Ivan, Tony. And then we know Will saying a bit.
Wolf loves his hot takes.
He does love a hot take, you know what I mean? Like, he's gone with a 1-1 draw there. Wilf, if you're right, I'm happy. And you know what? The TPG's 3rd place is still up for grabs. Do you know what, Scotty? If join us for the World Cup draw, and we'll speak about that. We know why he wants this. Matt running agendas in the place. They're very capable of scoring 5 goals. I don't know if against Brentford though. We'll see, Peony. We will see right there. But yeah, Chelsea's struggles have been the attack this season, though, hasn't it? Like, so scoring 5 goals.
Yeah, I don't see them scoring 5. They are capable. Havertz, Lukaku, etc. all on their day can do, but they haven't. And I think my prediction probably pushes that way as well.
Bobby's gone with the 3 there. And in predictions, Bobby, me and you too, we've gone with that one. And then you've gone with a 2-1 win. I actually wanted to go closer as well, but I thought mix it up a little bit because I'll review Ed's predictions. You know, as you know, we'll talk about the prediction table at the end. But yeah, I've gone with the 3-0 win. 2-1 Chelsea. Expected win, really, bro?
Yeah. I see the 1 goal for Brentford, Tony, Eriksen. There are some good players. Norgard, like you talked about, I think good shout out on him being the under-the-radar player for Brentford. I don't see him being there on your stream you did at the start of the week. I see it being tighter just because I think, like you said, Chelsea's form is great, but sometimes their performances aren't. And I think Brentford, Eriksen, he literally has made the difference in all of their stats. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. Scotty, it'll be 5 a.m., you know. It will be 5 a.m. Actually, I forgot. You're down under, Scotty. I forgot. Big up to yourself, though, man. If you are going to be awake, if you can grab a 4-hour sleep from now till then, it'll be worth it. But yeah, apologies, bro. That's a shame. Okay, fine. 6-0, 3-0 Chelsea. You know, yeah, agree with me there. Hopefully, hopefully, I'm hoping so. See a Tony masterclass. This is the final one of the weekend. Really, Norwich down and out. Brighton, poor form. There it is right there. XG 1.5 for Brighton, 0.86. The form is that so Brighton have won the last 3, drawn and lost.
Yeah. So that's the form in this game. So Norwich have only won 1 of the last 5 games. Their form for both teams, though. I could just tell you. I don't need to show you both. For the Seagulls, because just in case there's still some Crystal Palace fans, and for the Canaries, so it's the Battle of the Birds. Yeah. Five losses on the bounce.
Get your predictions in for this one, people. There might their form will change. One of them, at least, or both of them, if it ends in a draw. These are the predictions I've gone for. I'm backing G Potter. I have to. Come on. Regain that form and then lose it against Arsenal next week, please. But yeah, and you've gone for a Norwich win.
I have. I just see, again, I've gone with the fact that one team have got something to play for and one haven't. So I'm seeing Brighton's form, not great. Brighton's performance is not great. So I'm seeing Norwich nicking it. Also just trying to be a little bit different to keep me.
Yeah. And another high-scoring game from Peony. And Paxton agreeing with me in terms of the result. 1-0 Brighton, 0-0. So it's a boring. It could definitely be that. Yeah. This is going to be last on Match of the Day.
Yeah, this has last on Match of the Day.
I knew he was going to say that, bro. I knew he was going to say that. You see, 16 years now. I know what he's going to say. Watch Norwich win 2-1 just to annoy him. Yeah, definitely. But Wilf agreeing with you there, Scotty, saying a 0-0 draw, 1-1, draw again. Gingerhead Giant got the first touch of a Papa Dom versus. Who's that? Who's the
Josh Sargent.
Yeah. Hey, he scored 2 goals. Yeah, see, there it is, Sargent, not Hotsman. Norwich versus Fulham. Who is the best yo-yo club? It's a battle of the yo-yo clubs. West Brom's name could be thrown in that.
Yeah, I guess Fulham, because they at least try and play better football. It's probably what you could argue.
I find, do you know what? If it weren't for West Brom, for me, affiliations and that, and a new local team, I think West Brom are a trash club to come up as well. Like, I'm glad they're not this season.
No, they're not. They're not. So, weirdly as well, Matt, we've got one more game to go. I think I'll prove that I don't want Everton to go down.
There we go. Here we go now, yeah. Hey, very strong there from Jay.
They come straight in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 1:15, Jay.
I know, it's not watershed yet, Jay. Come on. But anyways, Burnley versus Everton. This is probably the biggest game of the weekend, really. Yeah. But it's not even on the weekend. It's midweek, Wednesday.
Yeah, it's next Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah. So the last 5 games between these two teams, mixed bag. 2 wins for both teams and a draw right in the middle. Burnley 1.13 again. XG, this is based on what we are now rather than the games of 1.32 for Everton. And we've already looked at the form for both teams. Everton's 3 losses and 2 wins, and Burnley's form 3 losses, a draw and a win.
There we go, right there, people. Predictions in the chat now. What? Where do you go with this? What? Oh man, he's got 7-0 Burnley. 2-1 to Everton. No, Chris Wood has Burnley in the mud. I know Ed would like to hear that. But Paxton is gone. I'm just running this Burnley agenda on you now.
Yeah, no, you are.
2-1 Burnley. Weghorst, Brace, DCL if fit, or Gray to score. They're just on about that.
Yeah, they're just
no, he's on about Norwich. Yeah. Fair enough. I thought he was on about the Sainsbury's and that still. But yeah, get your predictions in the comments, people. Our predictions for this one.
There you go, Matt. I don't hate Everton.
Matt, yeah, we don't hate Everton. I should have definitely went for a Burnley win after the rigged draft that you did. How you rigged the poll, I don't know. You worked your way through Moss's heart just by putting Arsene Wenger in there. It's a fair play to you. But Peony's on for some.
He loves the goals.
He loves goals. I know, man. Peony, if you're right, yeah, it's different gravy there. If you're right, you're definitely getting shout outs because no one else has gone for them score lines. 2-1. Agreeing with Paxton there. I told you Everton are dead 2-0. So Everton's a carry on losing. Interesting there, people. But we're going to wrap it up now. There's the prediction table. I don't like that little line. Need to sort that out. But yeah, predictions table. Have a look at that, people. Hey, TTF, sit down. You're at the bottom. Yeah. And we need to, what are we going to do a forfeit for them if they're one of them?
I don't know. We're going to have to try and do something.
Yeah, we're going to have to try and do something TTF. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You might have to do
this is why we need the things in the comments later, guys, because
exactly
there's a few games that I'm struggling with at the minute. We haven't had a definite answer.
Yeah.
So yeah, please do. Also, it's really good for engagement on the channel as well. So please get in the comments later.
Exactly that. And look at that 100 club. Me and Ed 7 points behind him now. Hey, I've come like the phoenix out of the ashes. I'm there, bro. I'm chasing you down.
7 points is still a long way.
Hey, it's not in the prediction league. It is in football, but in the prediction league where we've got like 11 games, that's a 1 week swing of madness. That is. Come on, guys. We've got to do it. If you don't know already, yeah, admin, whoever wins gets a prize, gets a prize from. So if admin wins, I gotta give him a prize live on stream. These things and that video recorded, all of this. And if I win, same has to go for him. But if one of me or admin finish bottom, which 9-point difference, it's not actually not that bad as it was previously. If you just check out the shows from before, there's a forfeit, and you guys have still got to decide this. But there's something I just wanted to add at the end as well, because admin, I think the cup, FPL Cup, is that starting this week?
No, it's next week. Next week, you got a week. You got a week to get in. I think you got a week to get your team in the Tariq Talks FPL League, and then from there, everyone plays against each other, and there's a winner there's a prize for the 2 teams that get to the final.
There you go. Make sure you do get involved in the FPL, even if you haven't touched FPL since the start of the season.
You've got 2 weeks. Game week 33 is when it's finished. You've got 2 weeks to get it in.
People, you hear that? Even if you haven't touched FPL, seriously, do it, because it doesn't matter. Like, it's a cup week, so you can create a team from scratch. To be honest, if you haven't touched FPL, you probably got you got to have an advantage in the cup, because you get to just pick players who are fit and available and that. So make sure you do join in. The link to the league, the code in the description below. Make sure you do it, guys. And if Tariq can win this, the Forest can get back into the UCL. So Scotty's saying there's no chance really of that happening. Ed, get to your Tottenham shirt. I'll beg. Oh, can we allow the Tottenhm stuff, man? I had to wear a Tottenham scarf before. Let's not forget that. I'm scarred. How do you do it? How do I do? Is it in terms? Get it. So basically, if you just join the league, then the code's in the description. The FPL, jump in there. There it is. Use that code, jump in the league, and then you'll be automatically be in it. So make sure you try and do that as quick as possible. Big up Alan in the place as well. So yes, people, it is going to be good. Always start FPL at the start of the season. Do it for about 5 weeks and lose interest. There's a lot of people like that. Me and Ed are the ride or die. Like we do it. We go hard. Yeah, we owe each other like Nando's.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
I know. There's so much. We'll blame lockdown. We'll blame that.
Yeah, that did cause a lot of issues.
But yes, people, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Ed, for coming on again. 1 hour and 16 minutes.
Got to get back to work now.
Yeah, exactly. People, love and leave you. I'll be there. I'll be doing the stream for the World Cup draw at Edmonds. So yeah, from 4:30. Make sure you do join for us, guys. Click that bell. Make sure you like the video. Get in the comments if you haven't done so already. Right after the stream, I recommend you do it. Helps with the algorithm, people. We want to get more people in the TTF. Can we get to 350 by the end of the weekend? No, we're not getting to. We're not getting 350 by the end of the weekend. Yeah, prove me wrong, people. Now, love to you all. Thank you so much for the love and support. Join, clicking the links in the description, people, and we're out. Peace.